Over the last 25 years of providing exchange services, we've come up with what I call tips of the trade. What are the top things that you can focus on that will help you have the most successful transaction? For those of you that are a little more detail-oriented and like to do pre-planning, you're going to love this video. So first, before you sell the property that you currently own, make sure that there are available properties in the marketplace that are going to at least either upgrade or be the same quality of asset. So you don't want to sell a very good performing relinquished property and end up finding that you're going to have to buy a property that's going to perform poorly. That's not a good use of a 1031 exchange. In some cases, it's better just to take your property off the market or not sell at all and then wait for a better environment. The second thing I would suggest is find out how much gain, how much tax is associated with your sale if you did not do a 1031 exchange. You might have to check with your CPA, or you can give us a call. We're very good at figuring out approximately what that tax consequence might be. That information will help you make better decisions. Lastly, do give us a call because we will send you contract language to insert in your relinquished sales contract. We'll also tell you, please don't take a purchase money note under financing on your sale because that complicates the transaction, and then we'll wish you well in getting a quick, successful sale. Once you have a contract on your relinquished property, contact us. We'll send you an information sheet for you to fill out and to send back with a copy of the sales contract. This will provide us with the information that we need to prepare your exchange documentation and also your bank paperwork. You don't need to contact the closer. We will send them instructions. But at the time that you got the relinquished contract, you may have also been given an earnest money check. It's okay for you to deposit that check. You don't have to forward it to us. It's just earnest money at this point. Just make sure that you have forwarded that earnest money amount to the closer before the closing takes place, because if you're still in possession of it post-closing, you're going to have to pay taxes on it. What's really important about this particular time frame is it's a good time to really go out there and start looking for your replacement property. Don't wait until after your property closes. The one thing that happens most commonly for people who are successful in completing these transactions is that they focus on finding that good replacement property right after their relinquished property goes under contract. They don't wait. For those that wait and procrastinate and don't really start looking earnestly until a couple weeks into their 45-day ID period, those are the ones that end up many times having to pull the plug on their exchange transactions or end up with poorer choices. So once we've sent the instructions to the closer, they will be asked to format the closing statement a little differently. In the seller box, it'll show Atlanta Deferred Exchange as the seller, as qualified intermediary for you. We sign the settlement statement. Along with you, though, there's an area there for you to sign and approve the closing statement, because we want to make sure you've reviewed that closing statement and that you're happy with the numbers, that it does represent the agreement that you made with the buyer. We don't review those numbers. You won't be receiving any cash from the closing because the cash has to go into your 1031 account. It'll get directly wired from the closing to that new 1031 account that's been set up. Now your timelines start, both the 45-day identification period and your 180-day acquisition period. They run simultaneously, concurrently, with the day after closing being day 1. Within the first week after your relinquished closing, you'll be getting a letter from us that will state what your 45th day is, what your 180th day is, what minimum price property you have to buy, and how much cash you have to spend. It is important for you to review that information carefully. We will try to send you reminders for both your 45-day identification period deadline and your 180th day. But that's not our responsibility. That's your responsibility. Once you do have a replacement property under contract, and let's just say you actually close within the 45-day ID period, your closing statement serves as your ID letter. But if the replacement property or properties you hope to buy fall outside the 45th day, you are going to have to submit an ID letter to us. In that critical information packet will have been a form ID letter for you to fill out, sign, scan back to us, or fax back to us. Remember, it has to be signed, and it has to be signed by you. An email by itself is not sufficient. An email that has an attachment of the ID letter signed by you is great. Once you get to the 45th day, you cannot substitute properties. So if you're unsuccessful in acquiring any of the properties that you've listed, you're going to have a failed exchange. So the place you really want to find yourself is you'd like to have your replacement property under contract and hopefully the due diligence period completed before you get to day 45. Then you are fairly secure that you've got a viable property that you're going to close on. That's key. Once you do have that replacement property under contract, contact us again. Again, please don't wait until a day or two before closing. We will get the closer information from you. We will coordinate things from them, get their wiring instructions. We have to help them format the closing statement again for the 1031. And then we'll fund the money from your exchange account to the closing. Once this closing has taken place, and let's say it's your last replacement or only replacement property, we are going to be sending you some documents that you need to retain. You should retain a copy of your closing statements and the identification letter. Those are probably the three most important elements. Along the way, you will have a copy of the exchange agreement, the notice, and the assignments. I would not throw those away. I would hold on to those too. But we're going to be sending you a special tax package that contains those elements I just mentioned. The closing statements and the ID letter and the ledger, money going in and money going out. So you can forward them to your CPA. I think you'll find that very easy and hopefully that helps you out. Your CPA will be filling out Form 8824 and they'll need that information to be able to complete that form that gets attached to the tax return that you file in the year of sale. Remember, the number one thing to focus on for a successful transaction is finding the right replacement property once your relinquished property goes under contract. I hope you have found this information helpful. At Atlanta Deferred Exchange, we help you maximize the benefit of your exchange transactions.